Do you remember my Christmas video where I talked about Santa Claus and explained to a child that Santa Claus was like Halloween, where Santa Claus isn't a real guy, but they dress up in, like, people dress up like Santa Claus and he's not real, so the kids don't believe in Santa Claus, so they don't believe a lie, and then it's more like just some kind of like Halloween. Well, I was with that same child, and they said, they will ask the same questions. Do you like Santa? And I'll say, no, I don't like him. So they asked me, do you like the Easter Bunny? And I said, the Easter Bunny is like Santa Claus. And they said, you don't like the Easter Bunny? And I said, no, the Easter Bunny is not real. A rabbit that lays chocolate eggs, that's not real. And they said, it's like Halloween, right? And I said, yeah, because they'd seen the Easter Bunny. And when you see the Easter Bunny, you can tell that it's somebody in a suit. And it's one of those things that's more obvious with a child. Like, I don't think kids, like, they used to do that when I was growing up. I don't know if they do this anymore, where the kids take a picture with the Easter Bunny. I mean, I even remember, like, going to Kmart on Easter, and they'd have the Easter Bunny there, and you could get, like, a Polaroid of you with the Easter Bunny. And they were just, like, there. Like, just like, here's a picture of you with the Easter Bunny in Kmart. And now there's no Kmart. And I know that kids, as I did in my Christmas video, I said kids aren't going to get their pictures taken with Santa. And I said, great, the death of Santa. So now I'm also here to herald the death of the Easter Bunny. What does Easter have to do with Jesus? Nothing. It's celebrate. They used to do Esther worship, right? So it's a celebration of a goddess Esther, and it's probably about an orgy or something. Isn't all the holidays about orgies or something? Basically, that's the old pagan holidays. It's about fertility. So if it's about fertility, I'm just saying in complete ignorance. I'm not going to look it up. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah, I used to go to Orthodox church, and we'd have Pascha, and they were really into meat. Like, it's a big deal to have meat with Pascha because of the fasting. So same with Christmas as it is with he is risen. Which, if you're going to celebrate anything, yeah, celebrate that. Except, when did he rise? If he was like born in September or born in April, then and do you believe that he was crucified on Friday? I don't. So anyway, back to Easter Bunny's story. So they said, so it's like Halloween, and I was like, yeah. And they said, because when you see the Easter Bunny, I said, did you go to see the Easter Bunny? And they said, no. And I said, when you see the Easter Bunny, you can tell that it's somebody in a suit that's not a real. It's like a giant bunny that's like a cartoon that's not real. And they're like, yeah. And they said, so the Easter Bunny's not real? And I said, no. And I said, I don't want to lie to you. I want to tell you the truth. Santa Claus is not real. The Easter Bunny is not real. And they said, it's like Halloween. And I said, yes. So I know that I opened this video saying that, like, the Easter Bunny, like Santa Claus is like Halloween. But really, I got that from a child just earlier today. And they said, so it's like Halloween? And I said, yes, it is like Halloween. Because I said, like, people dress up like Santa Claus, and when you go meet Santa Claus, you can tell that that's not a real beard, except that some people, I know guys, there's people in my family that dress up like Santa, and they have the beard and everything, and they're fat, and they play Santa. And I knew a couple guys that did that. I mean, like, not like I knew them, but they like were in the neighborhood or whatever, and I'm like, no, stay away from that guy. But like, they did it year after year, and people used to hire them, like, come over, we got presents for the kids, and they would pay this guy, and he would show up at the house, and Santa, like in a car that was parked away from the house, and he would just like, look who's here, it's Santa. And they want to say, I want to see the reindeer, and you can't because he doesn't have any. And so that's a holiday gig for, I don't know why you would want to do that. But just how many guys dress up like Elvis? They get paid to do that. They like the music. They want to pretend to be him or whatever that's about. But it's the same with Santa Claus, except for it's probably like, probably you ever see Bad Santa? Yeah. So, except that some guys, I'm gonna stop. Should this be outtake? Should I just do this one again? I'm tired, but I was like, I want to do it and fire this one out over the balcony for either Saturday or Sunday. For Easter Sunday. I have a video on Easter Sunday for Rumble, and it's like kind of offensive, but I was like, yeah, fuck it. It's not really Easter. It has anything to do with Jesus. It's Esther worship. What's that? So bloody eggs, like period-soaked eggs. The tradition of Easter was a fertility festival, and they would dye the eggs with menstrual blood. Blah. That sounds like something that's on. Is the Tumblr still a thing? They still have, are there any Tumblr arenas? Is that just dead now because you can't show pornography to each other on Tumblr? It just sounds like one of those things that somebody puts in a video and goes, ew, look at this. She made bread out of a yeast infection and the whole family got thrush, and she dyed eggs in period blood and everyone puked. Because that's the appropriate reaction. And they also try to make lemonade out of pee or something. This lemonade smells funny. Yeah, I'm not drinking it. It's very bitter. It's very tart. No, what are you talking about, Grandpa? Urine's a sterile solution. You should, here, drink some more piss. I'm gonna do this again. I don't know, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it again. This video is what it is. So yeah, like the whole point of this video, which I'm just getting around to now, that I was really impressed that, I thought people are gonna give me shit for telling a child that's not my child that Santa Claus isn't real, and I didn't want to lie to you, and like everybody knows that it's not, like that Santa Claus isn't real, and it's like they dress up in a costume. And then that was reaffirmed because Easter's coming up, and I saw that the same child that that I talked about in the Christmas videos, and they're probably like, oh, he's coming over, I gotta ask him. I'm gonna, like, first thing was just, do you like Santa? Because every time I see them, they ask me if I like Santa at some point, and I say no. And I don't want to get into the whole mermaid thing. I'm like, look, I said, like, do you know about mermaids? I'm telling this to a child. I'm like, no. I'm like, mermaid's a punishment from God for being a witch. You're welcome. Thanks. You're welcome, Mom and Dad. I'm an asshole. What do you want me to say? I don't want to lie to children. And if I'm the one that gently, I'll take shit for it. I haven't, though. That's the thing. It's kind of been like, praise the Lord that I was honest to a child, and nobody gave their parents, their grandparents didn't give me shit about it. Good, great. So I said, no, the Easter Bunny's not real. I said, it's somebody in a costume. I said, it's a lot like Santa Claus. And they said, it's like Halloween. And I said, yes, it's like Halloween, because on Halloween, people dress up like all different kinds of things. But on Christmas and Easter, they dress up like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny, and the Easter Bunny's not real because like rabbits don't lay eggs, and they don't lay chocolate eggs, and that's, and they're like poop. I'm like, yeah, that's not real. So I said, it's just a costume. And I said, yes. And I said, did you go get your picture? I'm just reiterating what I said before. Did you get your picture taken, was my question. And they said no. And I was like, yeah, maybe kids don't do that anymore because, who cares or whatever. You can just have a filter where you just take a picture of the kid, and then the Easter Bunny shows up and the kid's like, ah! But it's like all done by using like 1,000 gallons of water or something. Yeah. Let's talk about that. I'm going to come back around to the AI substation things. They want to put these things all over the place. It's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, this is just about they want to take water away and electric away. And this is all about rationing shit so you can make funny pictures. You can make Studio Ghibli faggot shit. So it's my theory, my ignorant opinion, uninformed, where I'm at somebody else's house and the news is on, and they're like they want to put in a whole bunch of substations everywhere. I'm like, great, like all over the state. And I'm like, yes, this is just about, like, I know it sounds terrible to say this, but I'm kind of hoping that the economy collapses before they can get these things done, and that the funding is cut off for all this shit, and they stop, You know, like they're like, stop bringing Indians in. They don't have anything. And they're like, yeah, that's why I want to bring them in so you can fight over it. Nothing. Bring them into places, to rural neighborhoods or whatever, so that, and have them, you know, whatever. And then do bird flu so that we can't have birds anymore and eat eggs and shit. And yeah, you should probably not buy any, like they sell Tractor Supply livestock. You can get ducks and chickens from Tractor Supply. Don't get them there. Go to somebody on Craigslist and deal with some, you know, whoever it is, like, you know, look at the ad, how, you know, like the text and how they type, and you know, try and like judge the person, and then decide, like, you know what, this is like a well-written Craigslist thing, good photographs, there's actual other humans in the pictures with the livestock. So if you're gonna get chickens or ducks or whatever because you want to have eggs, because economic collapse and all these calamities and, you know, all this stuff that's been manufactured for us. Don't get anything from Tractor Supply. Don't get the Dumor food. That's the poison food. Don't get the Purina anything. It's trash. So no Purina chicken scratch. No Dumor chicken scratch. And there's another one that's no good. Well, it's the Tractor Supply brand, whatever that is. I know Dumor is part of that Tractor Supply. And I don't know if you know this, but if you get your chicken scratch from Tractor Supply, don't get the Dumor or the Purina or whatever the third one is. I can't remember anymore, because it's poison and your chickens won't lay eggs, and they know that, and it's and they have to try and sell it anyway. So maybe that's been fixed now, because that started a couple years ago. And I would add to that, because they're doing this thing where they're killing all these heads of cattle and they're killing all the chickens all over. Even in Australia, they're like, people are eating ostriches or emus or whatever, and they're like, kill them. They killed like thousands of them. And they're saying bird flu, but it's really just because they want us to eat the fucking bugs, because they're cocksuckers. Anyway, the Easter Bunny and faggots of suckers of Satan's cock. They're spitting out the hairs on a fly's leg because Satan's phallus is covered in the hairs of a fly's leg. Velvety penis made out of a fly's leg's hair. And that's where you're always spitting them out, and they're stuck in your teeth when you suck the dick of the devil. Just saying. So anyway, Easter Bunny. I'm tired. So I was happy to find that this child, I should be talking to kids, right? So I'm a grandpa. Did you know that? Anyway, my grandchildren already know about all this shit. So, so they understand in a healthy way that the Easter Bunny's not real. And when adults lie to them, I said, people are just like, it's something we just like, we pretend. And we pretend that there's Santa Claus, and we pretend that there's Easter Bunny, because it's fun, and you don't have to fight with anybody about it. But they're not real. They're not real. And I don't like Santa Claus. And they're like, you still don't like him? And I'm like, no, I don't like him. And, you know, like, there is no real Santa Claus. There is no real Easter Bunny. I said the idea of an Easter Bunny is silly anyway. There's no real, it's like, there's a giant rabbit that makes chocolate with hair all over his hands. I'm like, it's not real. And they're like, okay. And I think maybe that they had already seen like pictures of Easter Bunny, and they were like, that's not real. And I was just there to affirm, so I don't have to lie to a child about this bullshit, because I can't fucking do it. Okay, I'm sorry I said fuck to you. That's the thing I feel the worst about in this video. I'm just not gonna, like, if people want to be pissed off at this point, I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. You can be pissed off at me. I'm gonna tell your kids that there's no fucking Easter Bunny. He doesn't shit chocolate eggs and then you're supposed to put them in your mouth and fucking eat them. It's probably an orgy holiday. It's a fertility festival. It's probably about fucking. Just to be transparent about it. So anyway, fuck Esther. She's, you know, whatever. That's not God, all right? It's Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's three dudes. That's three men. Okay? They're masculine. It's a divine patriarchy that's never going to change. That's your money at the end of the day. That's the bottom line. The bottom line from the top down is God the Father. None of this Allah Akbar shit. Nonsense. You're worshiping a filthy jinn out of a brass lamp. That's what you're doing. Bullshit. All shit. B-A-L-S-H it. No Santa Claus. That's the devil. That's Satan. That's an anagram for Satan. I'm not going to lay that on a child because they're not really thinking about the devil or whatever. Why do I want to bring that shit up? I'm just like, Santa Claus isn't real. And no, I don't like him. I used to LARP as Holiday Bill, that was the fill-in for Santa Claus, and I would like diss and shit on Santa Claus, and I'd pretend to be my brother, and then my brother was Holiday Bill, and he was the fill-in for Santa Claus and Easter Bunny and Arbor Day and leprechauns and all that stuff. When they didn't want to do their pagan holidays, he would fill in. And I don't know why I told you that. But anyway, I hate Santa Claus. Fuck the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny, you know what? Rabbit stew. Okay? Rabbit stew. That's... Tell them, fuck it, if they don't like it, tell them you're gonna, like, you're cool, you're a cool aunt or a cool uncle or whatever, you don't have any kids, tell them, fuck it. Be nice, like, do it the way that I told you to do it. Like, say, no, that's just that's not real, that's just a costume, it's a thing that we like to pretend, and, you know, and try and throw in the Halloween shit, alright? And it's like, yeah, like Halloween, because that's what I was doing. Like, yes, great, you're filling in, I'm not gonna lie to a child about evil shit. One of the things, just to go back to the Christmas video, it's the same thing as with the Easter Bunny, is that, you know, like Santa Claus, like the idea this guy is watching you and he sneaks into your house when everybody's asleep, that's creepy. I did say that about Santa Claus. I did not say that about the Easter Bunny, but ditto. Nobody knows what ditto means anymore. It's this cut and paste, okay? Cut and paste. The Easter Bunny is a creepy weirdo that sneaks into your house when you're sleeping and he shits candy in a basket. And he probably has diabetes. He's probably got the sugar. Okay, I'm just saying. It's weird. It's creepy. There's no Easter Bunny. I'm sorry if you never heard this before. People are pretty fucking stupid nowadays. I'm sorry if you're off the charts on the spectrum and you still believe in the Easter Bunny that dyes eggs and period blood, all this blah, whatever. So, I probably should have done some research. Fuck it, it's Easter, it doesn't matter. It has no value. If there is any value in this video, pray to God, learn how to grow food, don't buy poultry from Tractor Supply, no Do More, no Purina, no you know, storehouse brand Tractor Supply shit, because people's chickens weren't laying eggs. And those pellets, also I would say, don't, if you're considering buying poultry, what's the title of this video gonna be? Don't buy pellets. No animals like pellets. I had goats that didn't like pellets. I had chickens that didn't like pellets. The squirrels like pellets. You want to feed squirrels? You don't. No pellets. The animals don't like them. And if you bought pellets or somebody gave them to you for free or whatever, because sometimes shit like that happens, you gotta grind them up first, and then maybe they'll eat that shit. But the pellets, it's just trash. Animals don't want to eat pellets. They're like, what the fuck is that? I'm not eating that shit. And then they don't eat it. They just leave it there. They'd rather peck around at dirt and look for worms and eat the fucking bark off of my trees. Assholes. So I'm gonna go now. Eat rabbits. Kill rabbits. Don't lie to children about them. I'm sure there's probably really cool AI generated videos about killing the Easter Bunny and eating him or something. Go show. Don't show that to children. And don't waste water. No. Stop making AI fucking stupid things. The AI thumbnails look like shit. It just looks like airbrush art. I hate them. I mean, some of them are cool and they look like photorealistic, and they're like, here's AI generated photos that Newsweek did of Trump being arrested, because it's like wishful thinking on their part or whatever. Like, you know, I have never generated anything. I've never AI prompted anything, and I think I'm sticking with that. Like, I'm never going to do that, because I don't want to be part of some evil plan to ration out water and electricity, because the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers are fucking evil, and they openly worship the devil. Like, they know that they're talking to demons, and like, what should we do? We'll go to Parliament and make sure they can't have milk. I'll never get over that one. You can't have raw milk. It's too healthy. No, records, put them at the frequency that kills houseplants. That's who's that? Rothschilds or Rockefellers? One of the two. They're like, what? We're like the We're gonna make records for people so they can listen to music. Make it hurt them. Those filthy bastards. So, and they, you know, the Easter Bunny probably rapes children. Don't tell a child that. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. This is inappropriate. Pray to God. It's Jesus. Spoiler alert for forever. It's Jesus. That's how it ends. That's one of his names, is the end.